We're good. All right. What's up, guys?
What's up? So how's everyone's Christmas?
Nice and relaxing.
Nice and relaxing. That's good.
Yeah, pretty much same here. It's just me and mom all the way up until later on, and then the kid came back. So
Well, as long as you don't seem disappointed about that, then we're good.
nah, I'm good.
I had
It's all
my
good.
I had my normal 2 Christmases. So the Christmas Eve and the Christmas Day, and I guess it's technically 3. So Christmas Eve with my folks, and then Christmas morning at the house, and then Cass's parents later on in Christmas Day. I made my hash brown casserole, and it was freaking phenomenal. So good.
Hash brown casserole. Interesting.
I don't know. I do it every year.
Tradition.
It's not really hard. I was just like, oh, what can I make that's really, really simple at 7:30 in the morning? Got it. And now I even run out of time for that because I generally prep it the night before, and then I just have to stick it in the oven in the morning.
So is it just hash browns and cheese?
Yeah, it's shredded hash browns, cheese. I put ham in it, stuff. Yeah, seasonings. Yeah, it's
Yummy.
For breakfast casserole. Sounds good. Yeah.
There's
Might even put
no
like a
challenge.
layer of eggs on top.
Yeah, you could. I think people do like sausage, and then some people put egg in there, and or you can do bacon, or I usually just do ham cubes because it's the way I like it. Anyway. Yeah, and 5 pounds of cheese. So some
Yeah.
butter is good. Yep. And then we have the eggs and the cinnamon rolls and bacon and sausages and yada yada yada. Normal stuff. All normal.
Was that a Rubik's Cube turn I heard in there?
No, I put mine back on the stand.
Oh, I'm hearing things, I guess. Unless that was Joe. Did Joe get one?
No, not yet.
Oh,
Santa
okay.
didn't bring me a Rubik's Cube.
Damn you, Santa.
It's because you didn't ask him for one.
That's what it is.
You
They're on
gotta
to me.
ask him, man. Anyway, well, welcome to Technically Incorrect. Just doing a little short one or whatever, considering that the James Webb launched yesterday morning. Seemingly
Woohoo.
all is well. I know, Scott, you probably watched the thing live.
I did.
I definitely caught the videos after the fact. I was not doing that in the morning.
I did.
But yeah, everything seemed to go well, and now pretty soon, in 6 months or so, we'll be able to look at the atmospheres in other galaxies.
Yeah. That's when we're hoping to actually have the science being done by 6 months from now.
A lot
was
of
kinda-
critical steps in between, though.
It's
Yeah,
true.
Scott, you had posted something the other night about the whole track that it's taking, like the month-long thing to get it to L2.
I think the thing I posted was actually once it gets to L2, all the kind of commissioning steps that need to be done at that point. I apologize for the lighting, by the way. We have a weird phantom light problem.
Oh, that's okay. I'm in space, so that's fine.
The lighting's great up there.
arrival At L2 is only supposed to be, I guess, launch plus 30 days. So it's only supposed to take 1 month to actually get to L2.
Right.
Yep.
And then another 5 months to unpack the son of a bitch or something.
Well, it's not the unpacking. That's actually going to be being done in the next 2 weeks or so. It'll actually be fully unpacked by 13 days in or so. As far as we consider unpacked, the day 13, the very last thing are the 3 panels on either side, so 6 total that fold out and around to the front. That's going to be the kind of the final-ish step, the final big step before it gets to the actual L2 orbit zone that it's going to be going around. And that's when they do all the commissioning of all the equipment. And that's what I posted, is it kind of goes through that and talks about, it gives little like mentionings of all the little imaging tests that they're going to do to calibrate everything.
Good, because we have to calibrate it before we start looking at aliens from a distance.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get some teaser little images somewhere in that time. Like, I hope they don't wait till the full 6 months to give us our very first image, but
I would hope not.
we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah.
I mean, even seeing test images, successful test of the instrument, you know, the readouts or whatever, that would be interesting, I think.
Yeah, give me I don't care if it's blurry, just give me some photons hitting the detectors. I don't care what it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Show me it working and transmitting. That's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
That was my next question. It's like, how long does it take for us to figure out whether it works or not?
I mean, so far everything seems a go. Like everything, as far as we know, seems to be going off without a hitch. Going according to plan. Did we want to talk about like where it's at right now?
Sure. I also kind of wanted to get at, and you may or may not know this, Scott, because I haven't looked it up yet, but was this, so this this telescope, the James Webb, is being, it's like on a shared kind of basis. So once this thing gets set up and everything, like people are renting time on it, or?
Yeah, and that's been done like a year or two in advance. They had a time where they were doing all of that, like allotting the time for the next few years or foreseeable future. And there's a certain amount being done for like specifically for research groups, and then there's others for other groups. And I forget all the kind of how that's divvied up, but yeah, they definitely have all that like down to the second for what they what all observations they'll be doing.
It's already almost a quarter of the distance completed from here to James Webb, to the L2 site.
Yeah, I've got 22.0092%, 93%, 94% is
Yeah.
the distance
Live
that
updates.
it's going 0.8863 miles per second, almost a whole mile every second.
And that's pretty
Just-
crazy. 5,200 some feet in a second.
Yeah.
So what you're saying
700,
is it's moving pretty fast.
a little fast. It launched 1 day, 14 hours ago, 18 minutes and 29 seconds. 700,876 miles to go to get to the L2 orbit. It's currently 197,841 miles from Earth. 42, 43, 44. The thing is zipping.
Yeah, it's going. It's definitely moving.
So yeah, the if you watched the launch, one of the first, you actually got to see one of the first deployment maneuvers that they did, which was the solar array. And it was a lot sooner than I expected. Like, I didn't expect to get to see anything. Once I realized the camera, there's no camera on Webb to be able to look at itself, you know? So the last camera that could look at it was inside the like last part that was holding on to the Webb before it separated for its final, you know, release. And, you know, literally within like 30 seconds of getting released, you see the solar array deploy. That was like a big surprise to me. I didn't really expect to be able to see it. Like, when you look at how the timeline is played out, it makes sense that you know, it happened right after that other deployment, but the separation. But yeah, it was pretty neat. You got to actually see the solar array like kind of accordion out down away from the telescope. And once they did that, they knew pretty much immediately that the telescope was getting power. That's like that was its like life. It's like ability to get power was that solar array. So
Do you have like a full video of it, or?
There is a video of a simulated deployment, basically, of the telescope.
they should have the actual video of those moments of the launch at that final separation and the solar array deployment should be on YouTube. They might even
Yeah,
still
that
have the live
particular
launch
thing, yeah.
up. I can try to scrub through it really quick and see where that would be in the live launch video. Shouldn't take too long.
I'm probably just gonna put the video in here. Like I'll have to find. I couldn't find one yesterday when I was looking at it because it was just the launch from all the news networks and everything.
Yeah, the actual rocket launch part. Man, that thing kicked. That thing fucking went really fast. It was, I don't know. I love watching rocket launches. They're so exhilarating to me. And like some are big behemoths that are fairly slow, but this thing just like
I was gonna say
snapped off the launch
it's
pad.
not like the normal shuttle launch that we're used to seeing where they're just kind of like slowly going up and big massive stuff. This was pretty quick. Yeah.
It was exciting. It was really exciting and super clean. Like just nothing looked wrong. It looked beautiful. So yeah, if you wanted to see those live updates, you could go to web.nasa.gov and it'll have those live updates. At some point, they'll add in the temperatures because they have the temperature sensors up and running, apparently, but they don't have them on the website yet. So
okay, cool. So link in the description for the live tracking stuff over the next 29 days, whatever it's going to be. And then, yeah. Neat.
Yeah, the temperature data will begin updating 1 to 2 days after launch.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to get a temperature reading of cold.
Well, it's got the cold side and the hot side.
Ah.
Yeah. So we'll be able to see all that, which would be neat.
You're gonna have like full like power readings and like battery stats and all that stuff.
Well, not all of that, probably.
It'll be cool to see what kind of information they do allow us to know, though.
They'll give us the decryption keys so that we can intercept the signals coming from web itself and read the data raw itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be the day.
Without image reconstruction, and then we'll just be staring at it like, huh? Yeah, okay.
Just gobbledygook.
Well, that's right, because just because you have access to the data doesn't mean you know how to interpret it.
Well, hopefully you'd get the right encoding too, not just the encryption key, but like the encoding format that they use for the codec, the video codec that they use. Or
a little, yeah, I was gonna say a little bit more involved than
265 plus, right?
265. 265H. Yeah, they're running. They're doing their encoding on NVENC. I don't think that's how that works. It's like they just made a deal with NVIDIA.
Yeah, well,
stuck a couple of 3080 Ti's in there or something. That's why we can't find. That's why there's none in stores. The James Webb took them all.
James Webb, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There's our supply problem right there. For something that was envisioned and designed, what?
A decade.
How long ago was this? Like, this was what, like 84 or something?
Yeah, I mean, depending on how you really define it, people have been saying they've been imagining this for 30 years, it's been in hard planning for a good 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
The most recent thing that was done was this 65-minute burn, this like mid-course correction burn is what they're calling it. It's the first of 3, and it's like the most important one. Lasted 65 minutes, and it was basically the one that was like pushing us more towards L2 orbit. It was like the key adjustment to moving out towards the L2 orbit. Yeah. And that went off
Successful.
Very successful, according to what they're telling us.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully. I really hope like nothing.
Yeah. Doesn't just kind of drift off past the L2.
It's gone now.
Again.
10 whatever freaking dollars or
10 billion at this point.
Yeah,
Is what they're quoting, you know.
10 billion dollars is just, it's gone now.
And remember, that's over the decades that it has spanned,
Yes.
resource, paying people, you know, all of that. So
But
It's
still,
funny you mentioned throwing it too far past the L2.2 because they actually like have the Ariane rocket, the rocket system that shot it up. They have it give it a little under thrust because it's so difficult to try to undo if you give it too much thrust. So they really cover their, you know, their asses by giving it too little thrust and then having the telescope itself give the last bit of thrust in a much more controlled manner. Because if you give too much thrust, you can't just turn the thing around and, you know, undo that thrust.
yeah, there's that problem with in a vacuum and no friction, nothing to stop you or slow you down. So
Damn Newton's laws.
you know,
Yep.
yeah, I hate that guy.
Inertia.
if it weren't for him, we'd all be able to fly.
It's true.
There you go.
That's how it works. He invented physics.
That's it.
Yeah, it's all him.
He
Damn it.
is God. Newton is God.
Oh dear.
I feel we've drifted into another topic now.
Yeah. No, Scott, did you want to like, because I was actually kind of interested over that dinner conversation I was just having with my cousin with that the Galileo thing. I don't think Joe may or may not have heard this before. Have you heard of the Galileo project, Joe? Hey,
Doesn't sound familiar, no.
do you still have the link? I can't, if I my my web browser's on the wrong monitor right now, and if I pull it up, it's gonna block the video. So
Yeah, it's something, this Galileo project thing is something I definitely need to look more into because this is the first I've
yeah.
really heard about it. It's interesting, but raises some
I wasn't trying to get like too in depth on it at this particular moment. I just wanted to bring it up because I was like,
yeah, well, they're basically trying to model themselves. They're saying their project is complementary to traditional SETI, but instead of looking for electromagnetic signals that might indicate extraterrestrial like technology out there, they are looking for actual physical objects. This is all kind of in light of that Oumuamua. Do y'all remember hearing about that like interstellar object that was really like, they kept calling it cigar shaped. It wasn't really, but like
Yeah,
this oblong big thing that kind of surprised us by its presence. It's kind of sparked by that and looking for physical objects rather than just electromagnetic signals, which is, sure, that's great and all, but like I know they in their like initial statement, they kind of imply that there's like not currently being done transparent, validated, systematic scientific research. And I don't know if I agree with that. Like we have projects that are looking for asteroids and actual physical objects in our solar system as well. If this is another project trying to do that, sure, but they have this like flavor of like, we're doing it for aliens. And it's like,
this definitely seems to have a different focus than everything else.
Yeah, the immediate feeling I get from it is, okay, well, it's another person looking for stuff. That's cool. I mean, that's really what I get. I don't think it's anything special. If aliens exist, it's gonna be out there. So
yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, I need to look more into it. They just seem like they are kind of like implying more mystery and less transparency than there actually is scientifically. But we do study these things. Like we have to be aware of the space junk in the atmosphere, you know, so that James Webb doesn't hit it on the way up, you know.
I was hoping you were going to bring that up.
I have to.
That's exactly what I said when this was brought up earlier. I was all like, oh, so they're tracking space junk.
They had like a teleconference.
they're looking for everybody else's space junk is what they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it is reasonable to, they do have to kind of keep a mind for space junk. The whole topic of space junk, and with James Webb going up, and also with the ISS decommissioning, which I think we briefly talked about previously. We may have talked about ISS.
I think we touched on the ISS. I don't think we talked about it decommissioning though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We talked about the satellite that got blown up and then the piece of it hitting it or something. That was
A while
Maybe
back,
two ago, something like that.
something I want to talk about, maybe not right here and right now, but maybe in a future episode. I want to talk about space archaeology. It's kind of the other side of the coin to space junk. Now that we've launched James Webb up there, it's fair to think about the end of its life cycle. When it gets decommissioned, it's going to be put into a graveyard orbit, like towards the middle of the L2 point. And it's interesting to think about future civilizations that could go to these points and potentially study these well into the future. Just an interesting idea. We don't necessarily have to talk about that right now, but
you mean look at it and go, what is this piece of junk?
well, and there are people making that same argument for the ISS, that we shouldn't just burn it up in our atmosphere. We should try to send it off to a safe outer orbit so that future space archaeologists could study it.
The ISS has got some mass to it, does it not?
Oh, it's got a whole bunch. It's like 2 football fields long or something like that. I don't remember.
I don't know
It's really big. Yeah.
pushing that back into the atmosphere, but
well, you would do it in pieces probably.
yeah.
In pieces and in very specific ways of how they'd have to like model how it disassembles, because they would have the solar arrays. There was a whole video talking about it, how the solar panels would like break off first, and they have to like map out where everything would land. And it has a huge trajectory, like thousands of miles long, from where some of the first stuff would land to where the heavier, more aerodynamic stuff would end up landing. It can be a huge swath of land. So even if you aimed for the middle of the Pacific Ocean, you could still hit land.
Yeah. It's just not that accurate.
Well, it's just that it's not that it's not accurate. It's that it's going to leave such a long trail. Some stuff will predictably land here, the stuff that fell off first, like the solar panels, but then some of the heavier stuff, some of the bodies and heavier metal parts will keep just streaming out further away. And so you'll have this long stretch of land that's at risk, or not land, hopefully, the ocean. There's all kinds of considerations.
Well, who knows? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of considerations with
Some
no
guy's
matter
gonna
what
walk out to
method.
go to work in the morning and find a piece of the ISS on top of his car.
Hopefully not, but
It wouldn't be the first time. Like, yeah, there are horror stories of
stuff
just
falls
actual,
from the sky. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes man-made stuff, sometimes actual meteorites have like harmed people. It's pretty rare, but and there's also just been close calls. I think I a while back read about an asteroid or a meteorite that fell through someone's like apartment and was like feet away from them or something like that. Yeah.
That's a
Anyway.
little bit uncommon.
It
But
is
yeah,
definitely uncommon, but it can
You
happen.
get some money for something like that.
An alternative, though, I
You
think
got a
is
meteorite.
kind of what you were going after, though. Instead of bringing it down, why not push it out into somewhere where we're not going to use, but it's not going to be, a problem either. Right?
Yeah.
Why can't we just crash it on the moon or something? Why don't we just do that? The
Then
moon-
it's,
moon-
putting
the moon's
trash on
useless.
another surface.
Well, also it would take a lot of fuel to get it there. The ISS, as we said, is
Yeah,
huge and
true.
heavy. And it's like, I don't know the distances offhand, but ISS is actually pretty close to the Earth compared to the Earth Moon system.
Mhm.
It's probably only like a tenth of the way there. I don't know. I know it's definitely not most of the way, or not even half the way from here to the
No,
moon.
yeah, even
More-
our
more than
high
just a little
altitude
push.
satellites aren't that far relatively. I mean, high altitude is still fairly close to the planet in terms of space distance.
Yeah. It's it would be a huge waste of resources to get it to throw it onto the moon. But like, I do love the idea of putting it into like a kind of commissioned graveyard of an area for future civilizations to come look back on as like relics of the past, things that we might lose detail of in our on Earth records, but they might be able to go grab those bits, even if it's not that, even if it's not that they've lost this knowledge. It could teach us more about exposing man-made objects to a space environment over a long period of time. It could help us learn more about being in the cosmos that we live in. If we ever have any dreams or hopes of traveling to other planets, moons, stars, whatever, it would be good to know what a lot of time can do to a man-made object.
Mhm.
See, I don't, what do you call it? I don't think we'll ever lose record of it ever being up there, but not on Earth anyway. Well, I guess it depends on what happens to Earth in the future.
You'd be
but-
surprised what happens. But
Yeah, maybe not, but yeah.
Well,
At any
stuff-
rate, the
records
hard
like
copy.
that seem like they're prime candidates for like that, that DNA stuff or whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, and the hard copy is always better than the like digital copies, right? So like being able to actually go and, if they ever wanted to, no one's saying future space archaeologists are even going to want to go out there and do that, but
Okay. In 6 months, we're gonna get an image of an alien waving from the James Webb, and we're gonna be like, oh boy,
both tons of bitches.
yeah.
there was a one YouTube video I was watching that asked a like YouTube live poll, will the James Webb find alien life, yes or no?
Yeah, and it ended in a yes, didn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't remember. I think I answered no, obviously. I don't think it's going to find life, but I think it was like 68 to 30, whatever.
I was gonna say, I
32.
figured that most people would say yes to that.
They did. They did. And that, I don't know how I feel about that.
I would say that indicates optimism of finding life in the galaxy, whether they want to believe they know what they're talking about or not. I mean, overall, people must think that there's life out there, right? If that's how they're voting.
Yeah, I guess if I had to put my nickel down on like, I don't like the yes or no kind of thing. I would say, yes, we might find traces that we might speculate could have a high possibility of containing life. We're not going to know that it's life, though, for damn certain,
The only way we're going to know if there's other life in this galaxy is if it comes to us or if we go to it and it happens to be there. That's the only real for sure way we'll know. Because again, studying the light that comes from other galaxies and stuff, we're studying old light. It's the history. It's the past. It's what's already happened. There's nothing that we're going to ever gain from a civilization that we can see from a distance from us to another star.
Well, there is some possibility that they could have like a beacon of this civilization that it is more prehistoric than us or like older than us. They have technology relatively sooner than we have. And so thousands of years ago, however far light travels they are away from us, like they could have had their beacon built by then, and we could discover that. There is some chance that we could discover through another method. I don't think it's likely that we'll discover, oh, they're beeping at us the prime number sequence, so it has to be intelligent life. Like, I don't know. I don't think we'll find that kind of smoking gun, but it's not impossible.
I already think aliens have already been here. So,
well, see, that gets into a whole other thing. If you're saying they're in our atmosphere, that gets to be pretty. It takes a lot of leaps of faith to come to that conclusion with great confidence. It takes a lot of leaps of faith and lack of looking at the actual evidence that's there.
I mean, hell, there's tons of photos with Vaseline smeared all over them, right? I mean,
Gross.
it's not what I meant.
Sick people out.
I meant the quality of the photos are shit.
Okay.
That's
Is
not
that-
what I meant.
Is that a common expression that I'm not aware of?
It's not.
don't think
You're
so.
just okay. Okay. I see.
Okay, okay, so Star Wars, right? The first, the original ones. Okay, no, just where I got the
Sorry.
Vaseline thing from.
I didn't mean to
Uh,
laugh.
The the original Star Wars before like the remasters or whatever. Like when you saw the speeder going through the desert in Tatooine, or when it was like going through like Mos Eisley or whatever, and how it was like floating. Well, they had like rigging and stuff underneath it, but the way that they masked that was to like with the I guess like the heat energy or something that was supposed to be being generated from underneath this thing, but it was like just like Vaseline or something on a lens, like old film trick or whatever.
Well, that's neat.
That's where that came from, and yeah, I just kind of used it for like at all the. And again, I was talking about this earlier tonight too, so it's kind of like fresh in my brain. But of all the camera technology and shit we have today, every time there's a fucking photo, it just like it looks like some old ass fucking like original Polaroid. Like, okay.
Yeah. Where are all the high quality, like you mentioned off the record, the 4K videos of aliens
4K.
somewhere. Where the fuck are
Supposed
they?
4K images that I heard about tonight that are not being released or have not been released, and I don't know who has them, but supposedly.
But
And where
like,
did you hear this from?
Huh?
Where did you hear this?
My cousin I was having dinner with earlier tonight.
so do they believe in like aliens in our atmosphere kind of thing?
Not out of the realm of possibility. So, but I don't.
Well, but
I
that's
never actually asked him with a definitive answer, and I'm not going to speak for him. So
that's fair. That's fair.
But
I don't want to pigeonhole somebody like that. But
yeah, apparently, when we were talking about it, and again, not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, but just what we were talking about is that we are, we're not that old as far as the universe is concerned or whatever. And you've probably heard this stuff before, that you could have an alien civilization or whatever that's been around for tens of thousands of years where we have not, as intelligent. So the chances of them being able to develop, I had said it before that I don't discount that there's aliens, that weren't they're the only intelligent life in the universe, but I also don't think that they're like coming to visit us, but they're kind of like we are, where they're stuck on some other corner of the universe, wondering the same thing. Hey, is there other life out there? And they don't know any better than we do. Like that's kind of my stance on it. Whatever. I mean, if there is, that's kind of what I'm thinking is going on. That's my take on it. But it was also brought up that God, I wish I could just get him on. But
maybe we should.
yeah, we can now.
Always welcome to
finally
guest.
did the Discord thing tonight. So yeah, well, that's like, I'm gonna get you. But yeah, they can be. They've basically. I think he was bringing up the fact that like, give us another 4,000 years of advancement. Like where are we gonna be? So there could be civilizations that are already been around a hell of a lot longer than us. So why is it so unfeasible that they have this technology? Because they could.
It's possible.
But again, it really comes down to what you.
There are a lot of different theories and viewpoints and possibilities on the subject, but it's a hard question to answer. I mean, that's why we don't have an answer.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, I had brought up that, like, I don't know why they would bother visiting us if they were so technologically advanced that they could, basically like, because I mean, you think about it, any type of distance, and it said it's basically
Massive
time
resource.
travel. I mean, you can't.
And it's a pretty massive undertaking from
In
what we
order-
understand. To travel between one star to another is a massive undertaking, costing a lot of resource. There's really only one reason to go from one to another. Well, there might be a couple, but it pretty much expansion or salvation, if
Right,
you
but-
will, like if they're running away from some sort of disaster.
Right, but you would never
or
go back and
conquering
find the
resource.
same thing that you just left.
Right, right. With
Like,
given
because there'd be a
technology,
massive
once you
time
leave, you're
change.
you're
Yeah.
gone. Yeah.
Like, if you're traveling at light speed, the time you experience is different than everybody else's time. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like
Once you leave your civilization, it's pretty much dead, probably.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why. Again, yeah. So like,
Which is a
Whatever.
big problem with, well, why would aliens have come here to mess with us? I mean, unless they're really close, why?
There's some huge potential caveats though, that sure, there's always like some possibility that there could be a workaround, but there are, like, for us, biological constraints to even getting up to light speed without some other kind of physics trickery that we aren't fully aware of. It's like the time it would take just to be able to not have too high of G forces, but get us from 0 miles per hour to the time, whatever, 300,000 kilometers per second or whatever, would take a long time just to get up to that speed.
inertial dampeners, just saying.
Well, do we have those yet? When are those coming out? 2022?
We thought about him in the 70s.
Well, there's also like
Nobody's
Alcubierre
looked into
drives.
this.
There's also like the warp drive thing, which is like you aren't so much moving as you are moving the space around you through space in a weird, complicated way using antimatter and huge amounts of energy that we don't know how to do it yet.
How to produce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's
I like guessing. It's fun.
yeah.
Speculating, I guess I should say. Still,
I
guessing.
agree.
I don't care. I don't care how you look at it. Still guessing.
I agree. But when it comes to people saying like, yeah, man, they're in our atmosphere and like they're watching us, or like people that think that, like, we have gotten so many more cameras. We all carry around a super high quality camera, and the number of cameras has gone up over the decades. And yet the number of high quality photos of UFOs has not increased. Sure, we have a bunch of blurry ones, but no good evidence for aliens. And yeah.
Hey, it's like kind of how I left the conversation tonight. I was just like, show me the aliens.
Where's the Blu-ray, bitch?
I don't know, man. It's not hard for me to fathom other intelligent life in the universe, given how large the universe is. However, that we've ever crossed paths before is a real stretch for me. So, but whatever. Maybe we're all wrong, and maybe this thing will show us something. But I doubt it.
I don't think it's meant to necessarily find life, though, is it? Yeah.
Well, they are going to be doing what it can do is get a really good look at exoplanets, so planets around other stars other than ours.
Possible ability.
Yeah.
I was supposed
There
to
you
be
go.
able to look at the atmospheres of other planets, not
Yeah.
our galaxy. So yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be
But
interesting to see what
As
it
far
does,
as
no
as
matter
far
what.
as like looking down on the alien in the lawn chair at the beach on planet whatever the heck, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not this time.
That'll be the next launch in 30 more years. They're going to start on it right now, though.
They do have another one being planned. It's called Louvois, Luvois. It looks a lot like the James Webb, actually, but it's even bigger.
God, like why?
It stands
Why
for
would you do it
something.
exactly like?
bigger is always better.
Yeah. Every time we build a bigger, better telescope and put it into use, we
We
find
discover
things that
something
we
new.
did not expect to find.
Mhm.
And I think this will be no exception, the James Webb. We're going to see things that we didn't even know that we would find. and that's exciting.
I hope so, because yeah.
I mean, it's almost unthinkable with the size of the universe to not find whatever we're looking for, to be honest with you. I mean, in the size of this universe, there's probably something for everything,
Hey,
every theory.
I'm fully certain
What do
that
you
we'll
mean?
probably find what we're looking for. I want to find what we're not looking for. That's what really intrigues me, is what are we going to find that we weren't expecting?
Yeah, it's exciting.
I mean, we have found stuff that we weren't looking for before.
Exactly.
Things that we didn't expect to find.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. And I think this is going to make history. It's just happening. We're going to
Well,
see
it's already
things.
made history.
It's already made history.
Whether
We're
this mission is a flop or not, it's in the history books. It's definitely gonna be known forever.
and we're going to see images from this, like in our children's textbooks and whatnot. Like it'll be very prominent through history. This is going to be a huge thing. People's PhDs are like hinging upon the observations of this telescope. So yeah, the Louvois is the Large Ultraviolet Optical Infrared Surveyor.
Optical, interesting. So they're
So
gonna be actually picking up visible spectrum too.
A bit of all three, yeah. Some ultraviolet, some optical, and some infrared. And the size of the mirror system is like almost twice the height, twice the size of the James Webb.
Wow.
We'll have to wait a little bit.
That's a huge satellite.
The launch date is 2039 proposed.
Yeah,
2039.
decades, right?
Why is all the, like, I'm gonna be dead before all the cool shit happens.
We just got to enjoy the cool shit that's happening while we're alive.
Right.
Like, you think about all the, like, this, like this, my generation, your generations, like, of all the stuff and all the advancements and everything that we've seen in our lifetime, and I'm still like, I'm gonna miss all the cool shit.
That FOMO.
Where's my flying car? Damn it.
Yeah, that's very utopic, because I feel like if we had flying cars, people would just, they're the accidents.
No, it's not
The
that, like,
air traffic
it's
control.
like everything. It's like we can't even do self-driving cars, really, because everything you have, the infrastructure you have to put in place to run it. I mean,
I see
heck,
that being more likely than flying.
well, yes, but over in I forget which countries over in the European continent thing, but there's semis that run up and down their highways or whatever, and this is not a new thing, but the cars can like link to it, and the car will follow the semi, so the person doesn't have to drive. It's like a commuter thing or whatever.
You talking about the cable ones, the ones that have like the cables above them that they can like recharge from?
I don't know that much about it.
I have no clue.
There's
I just
something
know
like
it's like
that.
a transit thing or whatever. Like you can link up with it and the car will follow the thing or whatever. And then like that's a version of self-driving, whatever, but they need the truck in order to do that. I don't know if it's more feasible over there than it is here, but just all the, I don't know. It's complicated.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know what that is. It reminded me of something that there's like these, I think they're like electronic, like kind of semi trucks, but they have almost what looks like, if you ever done like bumper cars in a like at like a carnival or whatever, they have like the pole that goes up and like creates sparks from, you know, the current in the ceiling or whatever. It's kind of like that, but it's just like what looks like telephone lines hanging over the road, and it's got a bar on the truck that like pushes up and creates contact with that as it's driving, and can like get energy from the grid from that, so to like recharge its batteries.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
No, I didn't think so, but that's what it made me think of.
I'll look it up as soon as I can, but and anyway, but yeah, James Webb is up and hopefully we'll get something out of it. Hopefully I'm still crossing my fingers because I'm kind of nervous about it still, honestly. I don't know why. I mean, I have absolutely no stake in it other than like a.
Well,
that's what I
humanity
did
has a
before,
stake
but
in it.
yeah, I mean, it's only $10 billion. It's fine. It's not my money.
It would be very
arguable.
tragic if it like tripped over its own shoelaces at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, just one piece of like little, I don't know, anything out there could destroy this thing.
Well, thankfully, as you were saying a few minutes ago, space is huge and vast.
Yes.
So yeah, there's stuff out there, but hopefully it would be not that big of a deal. I heard someone kind of talking about like if it did happen too, it's very unlikely that it's going to hit anything vital. There's very few like truly vital parts. Like, so odds are it's going to hit either like one of the mirrors, in which case you're going to lose a little bit of detail in that one spot of the reflector, but the telescope is so huge, you can still do a whole bunch
Plenty
of really
of
good science with that. And also with how anything that's like on the smaller side, which would be more likely than any bigger objects, would be stopped. It would like go through one of the layers of the captan, the like reflector. Those are kind of the two things that would hit it. Either hit the big mirror or the reflective sheets, but it's strong enough that a smaller object would be obliterated by like one layer, and so it wouldn't puncture all the way through unless it was like a really big object, which is really unlikely.
Good. I hope nothing happens to it because I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, because like
it's a long waiting time.
They design telescopes to have as few moving parts as possible, but this one is anything but. It has like they call it the most complex telescope ever launched into space. Like it's got the most moving parts, like without a doubt.
Yeah, but once this thing is in orbit, if anything like did happen to, I mean, outside of the oddball chance, if anything did happen to get in its way, like there's nothing we can really do about it. Like you can't change, you can't maneuver, can it? I mean, you can't take it out of orbit and put it right back in.
Unless we happen to catch an object somehow, some way going towards it and direct it prior to anything happening. No, if it were to be hit, it'd probably be obliterated and we just lose contact with it.
But there's no objects out there
Yeah.
that are orbiting in that L2 halo orbit that are of danger. Like they've almost certainly, they're pretty aware of that, I'd imagine, of its trajectory and what all is in that ballpark. I guess there's some chance of some stray object from like outside the solar system, like, or whatever, something just not seen. I don't know, but.
Or, the International Space Station might drift into it eventually.
No, it'll be way too far out for that.
Yeah. Remember, this is 4 times further than the moon. And we talked about how the ISS would.
Come on, Rob, keep up.
But what if I don't want to?
You just got like to dream. You like to imagine the ISS going off past the moon. Nothing wrong
Not a
with that.
spaceship, Rob. It's just a space station.
All right. No moon crash landings or junk on moon.
Besides what we already left there,
True.
And the Chinese base is there too.
Oh yeah, and that whole like square matchbox shaped thing that they keep talking about. Y'all see that? Have y'all seen that? The little like image. You look up the China lunar lander thing. It'd probably be one of the first images you'll see, like it looking out at the lunar horizon, and there's like a little kind of squarish looking little few pixels, and there's just been a lot of attention around those few pixels. Like, what is it?
What's on the lens? Yeah.
It's probably some kind of lensing effect, like from the gravity or like the subtle atmosphere that's there. It's like a mirage kind of, probably would be my guess. I'm not an expert. I don't know. But like the fact that all the news articles are like sensationalizing it, and some of them subtly like implying, could it be aliens or something? Like, why does everything got to go to aliens?
Yes.
Yeah, aliens went and built.
Not?
Yeah, they went and built a hut on the moon, a little shack, a little lean-to.
They were-
Send like 1 or 2 aliens at a time for 2 or 3 weeks, just to survey us.
our,
Yeah.
our creator overlords or whatever, just playing around with Minecraft. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Right area on the
Pixelated
moon.
images of a house made out of moon rock. Or whatever the hell's on there. Rock. Yeah, there's gotta be rock. There's rocks on the moon, right?
Yeah, it is a rock. It's one big rock
Dust rock.
with a lot of tiny rocks
There's a lot of dust. Yes, very, very fine powder too.
and a lot of cheese.
Good for skiing. Yes, cheese. Yeah. You had to put cheese and dust in the same sentence, did you?
Yes, you know it. Everybody knows the moon's made out of cheese dust. And that's where we get our mac and cheese.
You know,
No.
No.
I always, I guess I've said it before. I was always under the impression that we went to the moon, found out it wasn't made of cheese, and we were like, get out of here. We don't need the shit for nothing. It's useless.
Yep.
Totally useless.
No need to go back.
Let's go to Mars next.
Maybe it's
Moving
made of
on.
maybe it's
cheese.
cheese. It's got the right color at least, or closer to it.
Yeah, it's like moving on. We're done here. No reason. It's fine. Whatever. Anyway, no. Hopefully, really looking forward to some good stuff. Unfortunately, we have to wait 6 months for it. Even if they release teaser images, I highly doubt they're going to be of the quality and stuff that we'll get once this thing is fully up and going. So, but we'll see. At any rate, that has been technically incorrect. Just doing a little short one, although I don't think it was really that short because we probably
I don't think so.
probably ran normal time on that one. I was planning to do a short one because, but anyway, I didn't want to
Yeah.
let this one pass because it just went up and I wanted to talk about it. That and aliens, because I love talking about aliens. It's fine. Anyway.
He had a primer tonight.
I'll put a link in the description, as I said before, to the live counter for the James Webb. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.